I'm Benjamin Hall, Fox News correspondent and New York Times best-selling author. Join me for my brand new podcast, Searching for Heroes. Make sure you subscribe to this series wherever you download podcasts and leave a rating and review.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And I think, was it the last episode? What episode was it? Hold on for a second. Let me check my files real quick. Yep, it was the last episode. Because I did a few episodes last night, so I didn't know exactly which one did this episode or the last episode, me talking on Air Jordan 6s. I didn't know where that has stood in the episodes I recorded last night. But anyways, what I wanted to talk on was how I got into Air Jordan 11s. So yes, there's a whole backstory on Air Jordan 11s. I'm trying to think, there really isn't no backstory on any other pair of Air Jordans. Like, I don't have a pair of 2s. I did have 3s, but I feel like the backstory ain't really all that interesting. Like, I just got the shoes just because. 4s, yeah, I only have like one. Well, actually, no, I have a couple of pair of 4s. And yeah, I have a couple of pair of 3s too. I have the like those red ones that came out last year for the All-Star weekend. And then cuz those ones had like Nike Air, and then they had like Chicago on the back or something like that. And that made it like a really interesting shoe. And what else? And then yeah, I have the Animal Instinct 2.0s. And I have like a Fresh Prince of 5s, and then of course my favorite, the Infrared 6s. No 7s, no 8s, no 9s, one pair of 10s, and then 11s. Okay, so yeah, let's go. And 12s. I did have a couple of pair of 12s, but I ended up getting rid of one of them. But anyways, the Air Jordan 11. Man, so here's the thing. It's funny because when the Concords had when they came out back in 2018, hated them. I was like, they look like bowling shoes to me. I was like, no, I can't wear those shoes. I'm like, them look like legitimate bowling shoes. Like, I don't know how. I'm like, it can't be me. It can't be me. So, anyways, I had but as the time had progressed on, I started liking them. That was the crazy part of it. I thought I was hearing the FedEx truck outside because I was like, I did order me a hoodie from my merch store. By the way, I got a new merch store through Spreadshirt. So, yeah, there's some TMossBoss merch up. I need to put up more TMossBoss merch, but for my second brand, Wastelanders, there is a few designs up right now. So, yeah, go check it out. If you go to my Instagram and then go to that link tree thing in my bio, then then it'll take you to my merch store and stuff. Well, it'll be one of the links that you'll have to click on, but it'll say merch store and stuff. But so back on my Air Jordan 11 story. So I didn't like the Concord 11s because I was like, they look like bowling shoes. And I'm like, and I won't be out here wearing bowling shoes like any day of the week and stuff unless I'm going to Acme Bowl or Round 1. All right, them the two bowling spots out here in Washington. So there is like another one. That's actually, it's funny because I was like, I'd seen like that one is not too far from where I live. And I remember hanging out. You know what? We ain't even gonna talk on that because I was all like, I just completely just got all like sidetracked when doing this story time. So. But anyways, yeah, they look like bowling shoes to me, so I wasn't gonna get them. But then as the time progressed on, I started liking them a little bit more. So I had went to Champs. There's the shoe store. So for those that ain't really like a big sneakerhead, there's like the shoe stores I always go to. Like, to just name off all the ones I know off the top of my head, there's Foot Action, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Champs. What else? The Nike store. I feel like there's some more. And then there's like the reselling stores. There's this one store I just found in the Auburn area called Grail Finders. But then there's another one in South Center called West Coast Boutique. So they sell Grail Finders and West Coast Boutique. They sell the shoes that's like been bought up by resellers, sell them for like maybe an extra like $50 to $100. depending on what kind of shoe it is. But if it's like a really, really rare, expensive shoe, then yeah, then it's gonna probably be some shoes in there worth like $1,500. I remember I went to West Coast Boutique and seen some Vans in there that was worth like $600. And the crazy thing about it, they look just like the old school Vans. They look just like the ones that you can literally go into the Van store and get for like $60. But them ones cost $600. And so I'm like, oh nah, I can't do that. What's so special about them Vans? That's the question, all right? So, and I think they still in there still to this day. I think they were like a size 10. They still in there still to this day. So, but anyways, Concord 11s. So I was in the Champ store, and I'm going in there to just get me some work sweats, because I was like, I needed those. And it's funny, because of work sweats, I ended up ruining those because I got sick one night from drinking, and yeah, I got sick one night from drinking. So that was the first and last time I ever got like pretty much like wasted. And I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. So because I'm like, I want to be a good pair of Nike pants. I was like, man, I was wearing them pants all the time. But anyways, so I remember I was going up there to just get me some sweatpants, and when I was walking up to the line, I seen the box like where the Concord 11s like they come in and stuff. And I'm like, nah, that ain't it. And so I'm like, because that's how I seen that it was, because I didn't really know what the box had looked like before. So I seen Air Jordan 11, like retro, I think that's what it said. Hold on, where's the, it's somewhere. Oh, I see it, but I can't really see the name. But anyways, on like the wall of shoes that I have. But, so I seen it, and was like, I asked the dude, because I was like, hey, yo, are those the Air Jordan 11s? And he was all like, yup. He was like, then the last one in the store. I'm like, dang, he just had to throw that in there. Like, he just had to tell me that, because that does something to me mentally when I know that I just got the last one of something. Like, it's like a good luck thing, you know. That's like God, because I think God is a sneakerhead, right? Because I'm like, there's times where I be copping sneakers, and I'm like, hey, yo, like, how did I cop this? Like, how did I get this? I'm all like, yo, God gotta be up there wearing like some Jordans or something. He was just all like, hey, yo, like, I know what I'm doing with this, okay? So, anyways, so I was like, man, like, I know if I get them, that's just gonna raise the price, because the pants was already expensive. I think altogether, because the pants was like $100, because Nike sweatpants. That's why with Nike sweatpants, like I found like some cheaper Nike sweatpants, but the ones I'm wearing right now, like these ones have like, you know, they lasted me a while. Like I've had them for a while. Them other ones, it's like after a few times of washing them, they done shrunk and got all small and stuff. So it's like you had to like go and get like maybe like an extra large in them pants. And I'm like, with these pants, they still the same length after washing them numerous times. And so I was like, I did not like those Nike pants, but I was like, they were the only ones that, you know, that they really had at the time. And then Adidas, you know, plus it was like, because I was getting them for like work related reasons. They were really the only like comfortable black pants that was there and stuff. So yeah, that was like, they were the only ones. And so I couldn't wear Adidas pants because they was like the stripes on the side. And so I was like, I did remember I found me a pair of like black Adidas pants, but the zipper had broke on. Was it the zipper or was it what broke on them? Something had broke on them pants. Oh yeah, the pocket zipper. I was like, it was something that zipped and broke on the pants. But anyways, and then that was like another thing, like them pants didn't have like no zippers on it. I was always afraid that I'll be sitting somewhere and my stuff done fell out my pocket. So I'm like, yeah, them pants, I didn't really like them, but I got them because I was like, they were the only ones that they really had that was all black and was like, you know, can wear them during work and stuff. So them pants was $100, and then the Concord 11s, I think they were $220. I think they were $220. So all together, I spent like $300 and something on that stuff, and I'm like, oh my god. I was like, bruh, why did I do this? So I did buy the Concord 11s. As soon as I was walking out, instantly regretted it. And I started thinking, I remember I sat down and I started thinking, like, should I take these shoes back or should I just go home and make videos on them? And I mean, if you go to my YouTube, you go to my main YouTube channel, and you'll see that I came up with my answer real quick. I came home and was making a video on them shoes and was like, man, And the crazy thing about the Concord 11s, them shoes are some tanks, bro. Them shoes, I can see why everybody loves 11s, because 11s to me, like, that's the one shoe I feel like if you get it in the right colorway, like, you can't destroy them shoes. Cannot destroy them shoes unless you like set them on fire. But other than or cut them up. But other than that, if you wear them outside, like during some snow, during some rain, I mean, obviously with Concord 11s, they're gonna get dirty because it's a white shoe. But when the Bread 11s, when I seen them shoes, and still, I can't stop looking at them shoes. Like, those are the one pair of shoes where I'm like, I'm just wearing them around the house as like house slippers. I'm waiting until the right moment. I'm waiting until the moment where I go on a date where, like, with the girl, I'm like, okay, I plan on marrying her. Like, that's when I'm gonna wear them shoes. That'll be the day when I wear my Bread 11s outside. But other than that, like, I've just been wearing them around the house as house slippers. But when the Bread 11s, when I found out about them, oh man, I had to get them shoes. I had to. I was like, bro, because it was funny because I did get me two other pairs of 11s, during the time from when the Concords had released into when the Breads had officially released. But and it was these like low tops, and I remember I was wearing the blue and white ones for the longest, but then I stopped wearing them because I think I had got them dirty, and I was just like, you know what? Nah, let me wear these other ones because the other ones don't get as dirty and stuff. So I had retired them shoes, but I ended up giving them shoes away to Four Souls cousins. There was like I remember their cousins. They needed some shoes, and so I was like, okay, well I got like a gang of them, and my room is kind of getting a little bit clustered with shoes. I probably, if I wouldn't, like, let's say if I were to keep them shoes and that I gave them, because I gave them like 9 pairs of shoes. If I was to keep those shoes and then all the shoes that I gave away to, because I did give away a few pairs of shoes to that West Coast boutique store. If I were to keep those shoes, my wall would have been a little bit bigger. So I'm like, it's probably good that I did get rid of those shoes, because I'm like, even now, I'm like, dang, this like wall of shoes is a little bit big. Like, it's kind of towering. But anyways, so I got those 2 low tops, love them. I really loved like the black and white ones, and so the blue and white ones I didn't really care for after I gave them away. I was just like, oh, it's whatever. But then the Bread 11s, they was getting talked about. They was getting released. And so I think it might have been either the summer or after summer. That's when they were saying that they were going to get released. And at the end of the year, and I'm like, okay, well, dope, because it was like in the beginning of the year I had got the infrared 6s, and so I'm like, that would be a dope way to end off 2019, is to get those them shoes, the Bread 11s. So I'm pretty much doing what I did when the infrared 6s was coming out, and I should have got a raffle. I should have honestly got a raffle ticket. I don't know why. I was like, now I know, like, okay, like, you know, get a raffle. Because I'm like, it ain't like a whole lot of people be going to these stores and stuff. So I'm like, hey, yo, get you a raffle in, bro. Like, when some next shoes do come out, I'm like, yes, I'm going to, if I really do like them, like they impact me like the Bread 11s and the infrared 6s, I'm getting them, all right? So anyways, so I went to like all my like stores and stuff, calling up stores, asking them like, you know, like what's your guys' plans, what y'all got going on. So at first I wasn't really with the raffle stuff. I'm like, hey yo, how come it can't be like no first come first serve type stuff? Like you guys is like, y'all playing with me right now. Like, nah, don't do that to me. So anyways, so I go and I'm like going to all the different stores, and Nike was now if you remember in the last in the infrared 6, like how I got into the Air Jordan 6 and all that infrared and all that, I did talk about why I was like, I never trust Nike on what they would tell me again, because so I go up there. The one friend that I did know that worked there, she had it correct. She told me that there was no more reserved spots. So overall, like, I couldn't do nothing with it, or I had to show up like later on the day that they get released and get like pretty much the breadcrumbs and stuff. You know, so I was like, that, no pun intended, but I was like, pretty much like, what was ever left over, those are the ones I'm gonna get. So she had it down correctly. She knew what she was talking about. But then I asked other people, you know, because it's like, okay, well, maybe let me get a second opinion. Maybe let me see what, you know, other people are saying. No opinions, facts. Make sure it is facts. So I asked the one guy. He said, "Oh yeah, first come first serve. Show up here at 7 o'clock, and we're gonna just start handing them out and stuff." So I'm like, "Oh, well, all right then." So he lied to me. He lied to me. I was just like, "That's not how it was happening." So I show up. It is bright and early in the morning. It's like 6, 7 in the morning. I show up there. I think it was like 6 something because they said that Nike was gonna open up at 7 o'clock. So yeah, it was like around like 7, but like before 7. And I go up there and I'm like, it's man. That I remember I had like this like thermal Seahawks hoodie that didn't do anything. You need a jacket because it was cold. It was in December, so I'm like, why am I outside on it? Like, what? No. Let me just start all the way from the beginning. Why did I wake up Saturday morning? Okay, Saturday morning, a day that I didn't even need to be in downtown Seattle because I had weekends off at where I work. So why am I down here Saturday morning where I could be at home resting in the warmth? But instead, I'm out here in the cold, okay, shivering, waiting for a pair of shoes. That's when it hit me that, yes, bro, you are a sneaker addict. You are outside in the cold waiting for some shoes, and you might not even get them. So I'm out there waiting, and then they have it. Then they go on to say, if you're a Nike Plus, so one guy comes out and he said, if you're a Nike Plus member, stand in this line. I'm a Nike Plus member, so I stood in that line. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, that's how it's set up then. So it's like then everybody else that's not Nike Plus members, they gonna have to wait here, and then Nike Plus. So I'm like, so I see where people was all like, trying to get their stuff like situated, but I didn't know. I didn't know how any of that stuff worked out, but I was like, hey, yo, I know I'm a Nike Plus member. So then I go and I'm standing in that line. Everybody, man, I'm telling you, like, at that point, I felt like kind of like how I did when I was getting the infrared 6s. I just felt like I was just being lifted up, just floating and stuff. So the line is like going and going. Everybody's coming out with their bread 11s, all happy and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, I've made it. I pretty much, to explain what had happened in a simpler term to, before I get into details on what actually happened, I pretty much was like in first place, right? I was in first place just on this track, just running or driving, whichever y'all want to imagine and stuff. But I either pulled a muscle or blew out a tire at the last moment. Crashed. Race was over. Couldn't finish the race. None of that. So to explain to you guys in details what actually happened. So I'm next in line. Guy brings me inside where he like somewhat brought me. Well, if you know how like the Nike store looks in downtown Seattle, you know how like they got like them double doors. So it's that middle part right there where the doors was at, like before you get into the building, and then it's like and then like the outside. So I was in that middle part, and he's like taking in my information, and then he asked me to bring out like my Nike Plus thing to scan it. So he scans it. Then he's like kind of just looking at it, and he scans it again, and then he's just like, did you reserve the shoes? And I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, I thought it was like a first come, first serve. So that's when he was like, oh no, he was all like Nike Plus members. Like, he was like, that's why we separate the line, like for those that reserve the shoes. But the line that you were originally, the other line, like that's for the first come, first serve. And we ain't going to open up until 12 o'clock to give out like, the remaining amounts. And my thing is just like, bro, you have to understand, people came out here far away to get these shoes. And you gonna turn me away because I'm not a reserved member? It was at that moment where I was like, I never want to come back to this store again. I don't. I don't ever want to step foot in this store. I don't ever want to buy a pair of shoes. And that's why I eventually did. I was like, I think it was a while before I had bought something from that. I'm trying to think, what was the next thing I bought from the Nike store? Because it might have been them self-lacing shoes. I think I had got those in February. And so I was, and that was like February 2020. And yeah, and it was those shoes. So it was probably like a couple of months before I had went back into that store again. I think I'm trying to think, I might have gotten me some shoes there in January, but I don't know. I might have just been looking around and just not buying nothing. Because I'm like, nah, man. Like, you guys, like, seriously, you mess some people up with that reserve stuff. I'm like, nah, man, don't have it where it's like, literally, that's the way people gotta reserve things. I'm like, no. If they wasn't doing that back in 96 when the shoes came out, then I'm like, I'm not doing it in 2019 when the shoes then got re-released. I'm like, man, it just like takes out the fun of like getting you shoes and things. Or it's like, oh, I gotta like be a reserve Nike Plus presidential VIP member. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm just TMossBoss, all right? I'm a host of a podcast with podcasting channel with 31 YouTube channels. I'm like, fam, I ain't got the time for all that stuff. So anyways, so I walked away disappointed, and it was like, and you know how I felt, you know how I truly did feel. I felt like everybody that was in line, like, wait, it looked like a scene out of a Spike Lee movie. Like I felt like that everybody was just staring at me, just looking at me like he didn't even get his shoes. Because I was so sad, I was so disappointed. I was like, are you serious? So I'm just kind of like slowly walking away and things, because I'm like, I just got too much, like, I don't even have the energy right now to like, really go and be all active and going back and forth to places. So at that point, I just went home. I had went home. I was like, I didn't even want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to like look at anybody. I just went home, and I was like, and then it was like, I think it was like a week after Juice WRLD had passed away, so I'm on my way home listening to Juice WRLD. That ain't gonna help, because that's just gonna leave me even more sad. But anyways, but then I seen, I went home, then I kind of was like, so that's what really made me upset. And I was like, I really can just go back up there with like a monster truck and just take out that whole corner of where the Nike store is at. But I'm not going to do that because I don't know where to find the monster truck. So therefore, that plan was out the window. But that's what made me really upset, was that, so there's these pair of shoes that do look like the Bred 11s that I did buy. And they're called the Jordan 6 rings. And there's like a bread colorway. And they look just like, I'll have to like do a video comparing the two and stuff to show y'all what I'm talking about. But yeah, I had, I seen those shoes and was like, you know what? I don't ever want to look at these shoes again. I remember I just went, put them in the box. I never brought those shoes out again. I was like, I remember I had them like sitting there, because I like, if you guys like watch some of my YouTube videos, you'll see that I'll have like some shoes just kind of sitting out and things, because there'll be some shoes I'm either wearing around the house, or they're just my go-to like go outside shoes or something. But anyways, yeah, I was like, I seen them shoes. I think I wore them not too long before I had got the or before I went up to go get the Bred 11s, but obviously that ain't happened. So yep, I was sad. I was really sad that day. But then I started seeing all the hype. That's when I knew how serious like this, sneaker game was, because they had it where like the Bred 11s was literally trending on Twitter. And I guess a shooting had happened at a mall like somewhere in the world. And I guess, I don't know if it had like, it was some old beef, or it was a person like about these shoes. But yeah, there's like a shooting that happened in the mall I think it was over them shoes. People was all outside waiting lines. People was just, you would have thought it was Black Friday all over again, the way that people was trying to go. And they were just shoes, bruh. Shoes. Like, it's crazy, man. But then, yeah, so at that point, I was all like, can't even get them. So then I remember, then that's at some point in time, I remember I went to West Coast. I remember it was me and childhood friend of mine, it's pretty much my brother. We went to the West Coast boutique, and I was like, I'm trying to think, had I been there before? I think I had been there before, and then I was all like, then I remembered that store the second time around, because I think I forgot about that store the other time, but then I remember I went back in there, and I remember I was like, I think I was gonna, I got me some Yeezys, but then I seen that they had the Bred 11s, so I'm like, hey, you know what? There's going to be a day where I come back in here, I'm getting them Bred 11s, all right? So anyways, and then the pandemic had happened, and then that store ended up closing down for a little bit. So at that point, I was all like, well, there goes my luck. I was like, now I'm going to have to, save up $400-$500 and try to get these shoes off of a reselling website, which I really don't want to do, because I'm like, well, why am I paying this? I'm like, no. And that's, you know what, to talk on that real quick, because I remember I did a video talking on reseller, like when people was reselling the Xbox Series X, and everybody's commenting, talking about supply and demand, supply and demand. I'm like, how about I supply and demand my foot? You know, I ain't gonna say it. There's like, that was like a little red moment from that 70s show, and I'm like, I ain't gonna say it, because, you know, I tend to get a little bit angry, but I'm like, don't comment to me talking about some supply and demand. You talk to one of them people that do be out there reselling stuff about some supply and demand. I don't care for that. I do not care for that at all. Okay, like, I'm like, nah. And I'm like, supply and demand. I'm like, well, you ain't never getting no sales going on if you're gonna be doing crap like that, charging people $700,000 for an Xbox Series X, and that's like doubled the price that it originally cost. Ain't no supply and demand. No, that's just stupidity and scamming. So I'm like, how about that? I'm like, how about you put them two words together and turn it into something? Bro, I'm telling you, resellers, man, I'm like, you guys, y'all are clowns. Like, no, y'all are legit clowns. Like, I got problems. I got beefs with resellers. That would probably be, the 2021, them gonna be the next people that I have beef with on YouTube is resellers. Because I'm like, y'all are stupid. Y'all thinking people really want to go out their way and buy Xbox Series X or some Jordans for double the price, knowing that they ain't gonna be doing that stuff themselves. I'm like, people, they be wanting to argue with me over some stuff just sounding stupid. I'm like, man, you guys, I'm like, don't argue with me. Please don't argue with me about that. Because I'm like, y'all just sound stupid. Thinking that, I'm like, oh, well, now that you put it that way, now that you just sent me a comment saying supply and demand, I guess I gotta listen to you guys now. Stupid. I'm like, man, something wrong with them. Like, wires ain't connecting right. But anyways, but no, the store. So my thing is like, the reason why I like West Coast Boutique and Grill Finders is because it's an actual legitimate business. And plus, you know, they don't really be charging. And then that's another thing. It's a, you can trade in shoes to them places and get a pair of shoes that you want to get. And it's just going to be added as a credit. I'm pretty sure them people on them reselling, if they do that, then hey, shout out to you. But you can't really do that on like StockX or GOAT or Stadium Goods or any other reselling website, unless maybe it's a store or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, you're gonna have to go to the store for that. And StockX and GOAT, I don't think them are stores. Not that I know. I think it's just apps. But so you can't really be trading in or negotiating, doing that type of stuff with people on there. You know, you gotta just go out and buy them. And I'm like, nah, man. So I'm like, that's why with West Coast Boutique, because I remember I got a pair of the Quantum Yeezys from there. And guess what I did? Traded in some shoes. And then here's where like history was made. Here's when like I was like, okay, I'm good, I'm done. I ain't gotta trip no more. I ain't gotta like lose sleep at night for these shoes. They had a pair of Bread 11s. And I was like, fam, I got to go up there and get them. So I remember I went and it wasn't like any old pair of shoes. Like, no, it was like some shoes that was like, because I think it was the Flint 13s, and then it was some other shoes I traded in. But anyways, I traded in some shoes that I wasn't wearing myself, and I was like, I ain't really see myself wearing them nowhere. But I traded them in, got my Bread 11s, fam, and it was the 2012 editions, and so it came in this like dope box. And I'm like, man, I am happy. I am truly happy right now. Like, oh my, you guys, y'all should have seen me. Shout out to West Coast Boutique for making that happen. But y'all should have seen me when I was walking up out that store. Like, I was legit, like, I had a smile on my face. Even though I had my face mask on, I had a legitimate smile on my face. There's not too many times when that stuff happens, all right? So I get home, I'm all happy. I'm getting them. I'm wearing them all around the house and stuff. But then I started realizing that, you know what? Maybe I should have went up a half a size. Maybe I should have got like my true to size, size and things. Because I got a 9.5. 9.5s are uncomfortable. Like, them shoes were straight up like messing up my toes and stuff. And I'm like, hey, yo, I can't wear these. You know, like, dang, I really wanted these shoes, but I'm like, I can't wear these. I'm like, man. You know, I was really liking the shoes too. I like the box and everything. So I was like, hey, yo, this is sick and stuff. So I ended up, actually that's what had happened. So the store, West Coast Boutique, because they have an Instagram account, and they posted on there that they had a pair of 10.5s. And I'm like, okay, well, 10 and a half. So I'm like, I wear 10 and a half in some shoes. And I'm like, okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to do the same with them ones. And so I went up there. I got them. The messed up part about it was that they didn't come in no box. Like, I guess whoever the past owner was all like, they didn't care for boxes. And so I'm like, dang, all right. So anyways, traded in those, the 2012 ones, got the, cause the ones that I got was the 2019 ones, which were the ones I was trying to get that day, at the Nike store. Cause like, so for those that don't really pay attention too much to sneakers and stuff, so they'll do like re-releases. So they'll come out with like a newer edition of the shoe rather than the ones that came out back in like 96. Because they came out, so the 2012 ones, so if you want to like know the difference between the 2012 ones and the 2019 ones, the Jordan sign on the 2012 ones is backwards rather than like on the 2019 editions. Like they look just like the OG originals. So yeah, there's like videos you can watch online where it'll show you the difference between the shoes and stuff. And then also in the inside of the shoe, instead of it saying Nike Air, it had the Jordan emblem on the 2012 editions. And so rather than like the 96 ones and then the 2019 ones, they had Nike Air because at the time Jordan was signed with Nike. I think he got like a lifetime contract with them, and it's like they just distribute his Jordan shoes. But at times they'll either like come out with a newer version of the old shoes, but in a Jordan Jordan branding, or it'll be like the original Nike branding. One of the two. So, but anyways, yeah, I got my Bread 11s, man. That's all that matters. So anyways, my all-time favorite shoe, it would definitely be the Bread 11s. I know I did say in the last one, it's like a toss-up between the infrared 6s and the Bread 11s, but I'm like, nah, at the end of the day, at any given point in time, I don't care when or where, I am wearing me some Bread 11s. I haven't been wearing them recently because I recently got J. Cole's signature shoes, the RS Dreamers, so I've been wearing those around the house a little bit. But them Bread 11s, they still sitting up on top of my sneaker wall, just looking clean. All right, so anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching in or listening, however you viewed this. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Make sure you follow or subscribe if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service. Subscribe to any of my 31 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram at TMossBoss. Like my Facebook page, TMossBoss fan page. And in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.